yourself. You have to sometimes just go to God, go to your creator, go to your corner. I know there's a new movie out called War Room, and I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard a lot of good reviews. You might have to go to your war room and just get right. You know, strip yourselves of all things material and start working on yourself, you know. It's something that I do constantly, and I have to, because for one, I'm on a chase to be in this music industry. At a very young age, I was exposed to a lot of different parts of it. A lot. And different angles of the music industry I've seen, I've tasted, I've touched, I've been able to experience. And let me tell you that industry isn't for the faint of heart. And even myself, there were times that, you know, I allowed normal issues to just totally take over. A lot of good friends of mine will tell you, like, I procrastinate when it comes to music, you know. I'll have the perfect beat, I'll have the perfect verse, but if there's something going on at the house, I'll put it off and I'll wait, you know. Because for one, I feel that, you know, when it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But in real time, and what's going on around me, I'm wasting, you know. I'm not doing the right thing with the time that I do have. In our minds, we have a lifetime to get something done. But in a day, you only got 24 hours. You know, in a week, you only have 7 days. In a year, you only have 52 weeks, you know. And who knows when something new may happen. So it's just a matter of capitalizing right when it's supposed to happen. But, and I'm a be extra honest on this one. Eminem Consultants, what's going on? How are you? I will get back to you today. I know we had tweeted back and forth, and I got some good things for you. I actually am working on myself personally on a day-to-day basis, and I really hope that you are too. Yes, absolutely. I hope that you are too. I hope that more than anything, you realize that, hey, I could focus on the negative, and I could think about all the things that aren't going right every day of the week, or I can turn around with the few small things. Yes, yeah, you can work on the small few things that are working, and let that be your motivation. Let that be your fuel that goes in the gas tank to move forward. You know, I had a real ambition towards today, because alongside of music, I have a relationship, I have a love life, I have children, I have an upstart business, I have a landscaping company that I'm actually working with a friend on, and things don't go right all the time, you know, and I had to kind of check myself, because am I gonna sit here, Miss Taylor, how are you? Miss Tawny, I'm sorry, Miss Tawny Lover, how are you? We talking about being ultimate today. Talking about moving forward, making things right instead of focusing on the things that are wrong. But with the landscaping company that I'm working with my friend on, it's a lot of different things that you have to do. And don't get me wrong, it's not a glamorous business. It's not a pretty business, you know. Here I am trying to be in an industry where you always got to look A1, and then there's a lot of days where I'll come home looking a mess, you know. But it's kind of like the day to me, you know. You go through the day, you get dirty, you get messy. But I go home, I remove my clothing, I get in the shower, I bathe, I lather up, I'll rinse myself off, I get out the shower, I dry off, put your lotions and your deodorants and your sprays and your whatever it is that I use, and then I'm ready to move forward to the next point of the day, and that's in a sense what life is to me. You just look A3 LLL. What is A3? Please let me know what A3 is. Anyways, that might be something. I'm not hip on the I'm not hip on a lot of stuff, so let me know what A3 is. But anyways, you get out the shower and it's a new start. It's a new day. So that's square one. I may have not titled this the right way, A1. Did I say A1? You said A1. A1. Okay, I'm sorry. I look A3. Well, thank you. Okay, so if we're moving up in numbers, and that's cool. I thought you meant like lower than. But no, that's perfect. A1, I appreciate that very much. I'm actually heading into work right now, so I'm gonna look D1 in a little bit. But like I said, it's just a matter of changing up. So, like I said, I might have mistitled this broadcast. A3 is a downgrade. I look A3. Okay. All right. Anyways, when you make those changes, when you make those adjustments, you want to get A1. You want to make yourself better. So I may have mistitled this whole broadcast the wrong way instead of saying being ultimate. What I should have said is just get back to you. Get back to what you want to do in life. Get back to making things right, and then being ultimate. Be Ultimate is, of course, the title of the album that I'm set to release in March. Every day is a new day to focus on something different. Know when you landscape and are rough looking, you are A3, not A1. No, you're absolutely right. Oh yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I'm sitting there, is she dissing me on my scope? But no, I didn't think so. You're absolutely right. When I'm through with the landscape and when I'm through with that, I'm looking B12, I'm looking Z1. But you know what? The money's good. I'll be real with you. I'll be honest with you. This is a sidebar from everything else. The money's great. Compared to what I could be making at some company, working for somebody else, putting somebody else's kids through college, I'm making just the more money I'm making in a shorter amount of days. And business is drastically moving forward. And that's it's almost a pitfall. Like the song goes, more money, more problems. You would think that everything is gonna be good after the money's going in, but it's not. It's a lot of work. So anyhow, I definitely am motivated to be more than just a recording artist on this broadcast, on this social media site called Periscope. I just want to show people that, hey, if I do make it to the highest heights, which I definitely am shooting for, I want to let people know that there's a calling in everybody's life to be a positive in people's life that don't think that there's any positive going on. And I definitely want people to see that, because there's been times in my life where I didn't think that things could be any worse, and then they did. Why? Because that's all that I focused on. And then there were times where I was like, man, things can't get any better, and they didn't, because all I was focusing on was that level that I was on. So I definitely want you, and I definitely want your life to be blessed. Your singer too. Well, Miss Tawny, let's talk. Let's definitely talk. I'm up for collaborating. I'm up for making things happen. I'm also a songwriter, so at times I will help people with songwriting. There's times where I work on music placement as well. But You know, these are all things that I definitely want to put myself out as, and not just a singer, not just an entertainer. I'm not here just to entertain. I'm here to be an ultimate artist. You know, get in this industry, do a couple of projects, and then let the leg work, because there's a lot of leg work in this music industry. You know, you can't just depend on the internet. You know, you've been doing reference tracks for upcoming artists. Exactly. That's how it's supposed to be. You know, your music is not just for one person's ear, and your music shouldn't just come out of one mouth. It sometimes can be placed in somebody's life that doesn't know, you know, how to write a song. And you would think, as a songwriter, you'd think it would be easy. But a lot of people, shoot, I'd say 80% of the industry, and I know we're switching gears right now, but 80% of the industry right now, they don't write their own music. You know, there's somebody that isn't as beautiful looking or as handsome looking as them, that isn't in front of the camera, that writes the music for them, that has everyday struggles and everyday blessings, and they put this music out. You know, you would think Taylor Swift wrote Happy. She didn't. You know, she put a little bit of input into it, but there's another team of writers for it. You know, you would think Happy, you know, from Pharrell, he wrote the majority of his song, but, you know, he was inspired by some other people, and that's just the simplicity of it. So you have to be able to kind of break yourself down to build yourself up to be helpful for others. And as far as with this music, yes, they're Flair on it. Right, exactly. And I don't mind doing that, actually. If I never make it to that forefront, but I'm recognized as a writer, I'm cool with that. You know, Undefeated Purpose, how are you? What's going on? Good morning. Flair. No, I knew what you meant. Anyways, we're wrapping up a discussion on what the title was Be Ultimate, but like I said, we should have said Get Back to Being You. If you guys, you know, want to watch the repeat, that'll be a blessing as well. Please share this. Good morning. Continue to realize that every Monday is another start. You get up, you think you're going back to the same jobs. Yes. I was kind of rambling on a lot of stuff too, but that's honestly what I do when I don't have something written. So, but it is what it is. This isn't something normal. This actually comes from, thank you for the hearts. This actually comes from some conversations I had with some people during the week, and just people's motivation towards the beginning of the week. People don't get turned up, as they say, and I don't like to use other people's slang, but people don't get all the way ready and 100% until they don't get 100% until it's Friday. And what are they getting pumped up for? The weekend. You know, all the work they put into goes into 2 days, and it's just misunderstood. So you guys continue to be blessed, continue to do what you need to do, and I thank you. I love each and every one of y'all, and please catch the replay. Be ultimate. Peace out.